Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this free training on data analytics with career guidance. Today is day 3 of Python programming training. Okay, let's see what topics we have today. So, today I have just two topics: conditional statements and loops, which plays a very important role in all the programming languages. Okay, I'll teach you how you can work on conditional statements and loops. There are so many programs, so many examples what I've got. I'll be sharing it with you. We'll work on that, and then you can also practice after the session. Okay, all right. So let me first open the navigator, that is Anaconda. Let it get open. So meanwhile, what I'll do is I'll just open the examples as well, so that we can keep discussing. And after that, once the Anaconda, the Jupyter notebook opens, then we can start working on it. Okay. All right. So conditional statements. First, we'll understand what is conditional statement. Conditional statement is actually a code or say syntax where we can get some result based on condition. If it is true, I will get some result. If it is false, I will get some results. So depending on the criteria, depending on the conditions, if you want to get any results, then we'll be using this conditional statement. So I'll just launch this Jupyter notebook. Right, and then we'll go to this Python. Just let's start working on the examples. Okay, so here I have the notepad where we'll see how we can start working on this conditional statements. In simple, conditional statement means we have a criteria. Depending on the criteria, I'll be getting the result. When I say criteria, the result, what we get, the criteria can be either true or false. First, we'll understand all the syntax, and then we'll start working on more and more examples. I have so many examples here. So I'll be sharing this with you people so that you can also work. All right. First, we'll see how we can work on this conditional statements. Conditional statements. Okay, what all statements we have? Say if, just if and condition. Next, we have if, condition, and then else. Next, we have if, condition, if, then we have else. I'll explain about these three syntax with examples. Okay. So whenever we have a condition where I just want only the true value, then I'll be taking this if conditions. The first syntax, how, let's say A equals 20, B equals 30. Okay. Now given two variables where I have 20 and 30 as the values, I'll say if A is greater than, okay, greater than means this is the operator, that is comparison operator. A is greater than B, the colon, then print A is greater than B. See, that's all. This is a program. You just see A is greater than B. In this case, A is greater than B. This is false because 20 is greater than 30 is false. Let me make it as 40 because we need to get some result. Now I will execute this. When I execute this, say this, A is greater than B. This is what I'm getting the result. That means this condition is true. If condition, then we have the statements. All right. So we understood how actually the syntax works. The first syntax, if A is greater than B, then I'll say the statement, whatever statement I want to get executed, if it is true, then I'll be using this. All right. Next, suppose if this is false, let me just copy this, put it here. I'll make it as 20. Now, when I execute this, I should get some result. Let's say I'll run this I'm not getting any result. The reason is the criteria is false. And when it is false, I have not given any false statement here. It is just only for the true statement I've given the code. So here, if I want to get the false statement, if the criteria is false, I should get the value. Then I should be using this statement. That means we'll go here, say A equals 20, B equals 30. Then I'll say if A is greater than B, print A is greater than B. Okay, enter. Now I want the false statement. I'll say else. Print A is smaller than B. Now if you see, first let me make it as true, 40 and 30. If A is greater than B, and if I execute this, it says A is greater than B. Now, if I change the value here to 20, and if I run this, see, A is smaller than B. That means if this condition is false, then it will go to this state. If this is true, it will take this state. So this is my syntax. All right, next. Suppose I want to get more than one condition to be checked. Say A is equals to 40. Let's make it as 40. B is equal to 30. C equals 20. Let me take more than one true conditions. How to take that? Say if A is greater than B, then say print A is greater than B. Right? Now I'll say enter. I want to check one more condition. L if B is greater than C, then print B is greater than C. Else print C is greater than A and B. So I've written the code saying that if A is greater than B, I'll get this one. If B is greater than C, then it will execute this. Otherwise, if both the conditions are false, it will execute this. Now, in this case, the first condition itself is true. It will say A is greater than. That means once the condition is true, it will execute this and it will come out of the block. So this is called as block. Now let me make this false. The first condition as false. A is greater than B. This is false. Now if I run this, see, it will go to this statement. It is saying that B is greater than C and it will print this statement. Suppose I'll make this one also false. Now if I run this, then it'll say C is greater than B and A and B. So what does that mean? Let's understand. So this is the syntax. I just wanted to make you understand the syntax. If condition means I'm checking the condition. Based on the condition, if it is true, then I'll get the statements which are there in the true statement. If I say false, if that the condition become false and whatever is there in the false statement, I'll get this results. Okay, right. When I execute an if statement, there are a few things what you have to keep in mind. When I start a block, that is, this is the complete block. If I say if, then I cannot have one more if here. And if you think that there are multiple true statements, then I say if this is one true statement, then here elif, then I have one more true statement, then it will be else. Suppose if you think there are more conditions to be checked, then I have to keep using elif, elif, elif. We call it as elif ladder. That is, elif ladder means it will be keep on adding here, like a ladder will be having all the conditions here. I'll show that example as well. All right. Now let's work on some examples. Okay, some simple examples will work, and then we'll go for more examples what we have here. Okay. Right. Now, I want to check. There is a sales value. I want to check the sales value is high or low. Let's say I'll take one variable as sales equals, let me make it as 6,000. I'll say if sales value is greater than 5,000. If sales value is greater than 5,000, colon, I'll say print sales is high. If sales is greater than 5,000, I want the result to be sales is high. I will execute this. See, sales is high. What if the sales become 4,000 now? And if I run this, see, I'm not getting any result because I'm not given any false statement. Let me copy this and I'll paste it here. I want the false statement. Go here, enter, else, print, sales is low. Now, if this condition is false, then I run this, see, sales is low. That means this condition is false. It is executing this statement. All right. Now, what I'll do, I'll go here. I'll try to give one more condition saying that if the sales value is greater than 5,000, it should be high. If the sales value is greater than 2,000, then it should be medium. And if the sales value is less than 2,000, then it should be low. That means there is one more condition I need to check. I'll go here. I'll say L if sales is greater than 2,000, then print sales is, sorry, medium. Sales is medium. Now, when I run this, see, it says sales is medium. That means 4,000 falls under 2,000 to 5,000 range. Right. Now, let me copy this and I'll paste it here. Now, what if the sales value is 5,000? If this is 5,000, then what happens? Here I'm saying sales is greater than 5,000. 5,000 is greater than 5,000, which is false. It will go to this. 5,000 is greater than 2,000, then it will execute this statement. Suppose if you want this 5,000 to be high, then I have to give if sales is greater than or equals to 5,000. So here we need to change the operators. So likewise, you have to decide whether it should be like greater than 5,000 means 5,000 will not be included in this high. So likewise, when you are writing a program, make sure that you are planning logically. Okay, let me run this. See, sales is high because it's 5,000. I mentioned as greater than or equals to 5,000. If I want to remove this, then it will go to medium. See, I'll just remove this. Now, if I say run, see, this becomes medium because this statement will become false. It will go to the next statement. It is checking this condition. If this becomes true, then it will execute this statement. So you have to decide like this. Right? So this is how actually we can write the if statement. There are so many if statements. Let's work on that one by one. Right? What if I want to use, say, if statement in single statement itself? We can do that. How? Let's say, let me take this example. The first example, what we are taking. I can write this program like this also, in a single line like this. You don't have to give in the next line. Let me run this. See, I'm getting the result. That is single line. This is for only one statement, that is one true statement. What if I want to use else statement? Multiple else statement in the same line. So we can do that as well. How? Let's say if A is greater than B. Okay, first we should print the value if A is greater than B. Else we should print this. Suppose if you want multiple else statements, print if A is greater than B. Else print, A is equal to or something. So when you have multiple statement, what we should do when you have the false statement, let me show you. I'll go here. I'll take the second example. Not this else statement. Yes, this one. Let me paste it here. Now you see, when I want the statement to be, in the single line, first I should put this print here like this. Print A is greater than B if A is greater than B. Then I'll say else. Like this. See, first I should print. Then I'll say if A is greater than B, else print A is smaller than B. Let me run this. See, A is smaller than B because here the condition says if this is greater than B, then it will print this. Otherwise, it will print this. Right. What if I have this L if? Let me copy this L if. We'll take this syntax here, this one. I'm just telling if you want to write in the single line, how actually we can write. See, let me take this and I'll put here. Okay, A is greater than B if A is greater than B. Then I have to say else. If, see, once again, I have to check this condition. B is greater than C, then I'll say print B is greater than C. Else, I have this else. Like this. See? I have this entire code in one single line itself. Like this. Let me execute. Did we do mistake? Let's see. Okay, I deleted this one statement. Let me just copy this. If we, let's see. Okay, this should come in the beginning. Usually we don't do this because it is very confusing. See, okay, but I just showed you this way also we can write, but I don't prefer this because it is very confusing. Usually we use this statement one like this. This is the best practice and also the professional way of writing the programs. Don't write that in a single line, so you'll make mistakes and it is very difficult to debug as well. Okay, all right. Now let's try to write more examples. Okay. Right. Suppose I have a number and I want to check whether the number is positive or negative. How to say that number is positive or negative? The number is less than 0, then it is negative. The number is greater than 0, greater than 0, then it is positive. Now we have two programs here. What we'll do is first we'll do this and then we'll work on this. Num equals, let's say 5. If num is greater than 0, colon, enter. Print the number is positive. This is just one condition I'm giving. I will run this. The number is positive. What if this is -5? See, I'm not getting any result. So what I'll do, I'll add one false statement for this. Now I'll say else print the number is negative. Now if I execute this thing, the number is negative. Instead of always changing the number here, we can also use this int input value. Let me execute this. I'll type some number. See, the number is positive. Let me again run this. I'll give some negative value, say -45. See, the number is negative. Right. Let's see more examples. I want to know whether the number is even or odd. So how will we check this even or odd? Say, for example, I divide a number. Say I'll try to use this mod operator. I'll divide that by 2. If mod of any number, if I get 0, that means it is, say, even number. If the remainder is 0, it is even number. If the remainder is 1, that means it is odd number. Because I'm trying to divide a number by 2. So what I'll do, I'll go here and then we'll give the same program and copy the same program. But this time I'm trying to check whether it is even or odd number. Okay. I'll take the value. Here what I'll do, I'll say mod of, okay. I'm just trying to check this. If this is equal to 0. Just checking if this mod of 2 is equal to 0. Then print the number is even. Else the number is odd. Let's execute. I'll get the value. I'll say 12 and I'll say enter. The number is even because I'm getting the remainder 0. Let me run this. Let me give some odd number, 67. See, the number is odd. So how does that work? Because this number, it is trying to divide, and if it is 0, the remainder is 0, that means it is even number. So any number divided by 2, if the remainder is 0, that means they are even. If it is having the remainder as 1, then that is odd number. Okay, right. Next is, let's see, I'm having one program. I want to assign the grade. Okay, now let's work on this example. Here, I want to get the grade. It says, if the score is greater than or equals to 90, then it should be A grade. If it is greater than 80, then it should be B grade. Greater than 70 should be C grade. And if it is greater than 60, then it should be D grade. If none of these, then it should be F grade. That means the student is failed. In the end, we have to print which grade the student has got. Okay, let's go here. We'll try to write a program to categorize the marks into grade. Okay, right. I can take the same input here. Instead of typing, I'll just say enter marks. Okay, now we'll put the condition. If num is greater than or equals to 90. Usually what I do is I'll put all the conditions first. Num greater than or equals to 80. See, why I'm doing this is so that I'll not miss any conditions. Let me copy this, paste it, and I'll make it 70. Then we'll go here, paste it, I'll say 60. Then The next one will be else. If you see that I just put all the conditions here, now I'll put the statement. If num is greater than or equals to 90, then I'll say grade is equal to key. Now let me copy this. And here I'll say enter, paste. Enter, paste. Okay. Right, here I'll say if num is equal to 90, if num is equal to 80, it will be B. Num is equal to 70, it is C. And num is equal to 60, it is D. Else, I'll say F. That is fail. If you want to add more, you can still add more. Suppose if you think I want to add one more, greater than 50, that also will do. I'll say 50, then there should be E. Now I want to print this. Go here, I'll say print grade, comma, 60. Let's run this. It asks for the marks. I'll say 98. See, grade is C. Run this. Let me say 12, grade F. Run. And you give any marks, it will categorize. Let me make it as 87, grade B. So we are actually working on this. The program is right. I'm getting the result. But most of the people actually feel that, we have written the program, that I'm getting the result properly. What if someone enters some number like this? See, wherein the number should not exceed 100. Then what should we do? This is called as validation. So what I'm telling is, people can enter any number. Say they'll go here, they'll be keep entering some number here, which actually will consider that greater than 90, and then it will give me the result. It should not be like that. We should validate such a way that if any value is entered, that is, if the value is greater than 100, then I should get a result saying that it is invalid number. So where should I give? I should give in the beginning only. I'll go here, say if num is greater than or equals to 100. Say greater than 100 or greater than equals to 101, we can give. Simple, I'll say greater than 100. Then I'll say print marks exceeding 100. Invalid. Just give one message. Okay. Then what I can do is I can go here and I'll say grade equals invalid marks. We'll remove this from here. Why? Because here I'm trying to print. Okay, the marks. So here I'll say grade is invalid marks. Let's try this. So here we should not have if here, I should have elif, because I can have only one if in the block. Let me run this. Here we'll put one colon and we'll run this. Let me type 67. I'm getting this as D grade. Fine. Now let me run this. I'll give some number greater than 100. See, marks exceeding 100. Grade invalid marks. All right. Now let me run this. What if someone gives minus number like this? See, this is also wrong. I cannot give this negative number. What should I do? Let's go here and see how actually we can handle this minus numbers as well. So here what I'll do, I'll go here and I'll say if num, okay, is less than 0 or greater than 100, or operator means you have any number of conditions in that. Even if one condition is true, that means it is true. Marks is exceeding 100 or below 0. Now I have to change the message like this because it can be either less than 0 or it can be 100, more than 100 as well. Let me run this. I'll say minus, say enter, say marks exceeding 100 or below 0. Invalid marks. So likewise, whenever I'm writing a program, just don't think that I'm just writing the program so that, I'm not getting any errors. So that means my program is right. It's not just, you're correcting the logical errors, sorry, the syntax errors. You should also make sure that you have, the logical errors are not there in my program. What does that mean? So if you see, I was trying to give some numbers which are more than 100. We cannot give marks more than 100. Then I have to validate that. Right? Okay. So we understood about this program. Let's see if there are any more programs. Right. Check if a string contains a certain character. So I'm just checking whether a character is available in that particular word what we're actually specifying. Okay. Let me just take this value itself and say string, copy this, and we'll put it here. So the string is hello world, and here the character is W. I want to check whether this W is available in this particular string. Okay. It is very simple. If I'll say if the character in string, that means you're just trying to check whether it is available or not. Okay. Now let's go here and I'll say if character in string. If this character is available, then say print the character is available. Else not available. That's it. Let me execute this. See, W is available. Let me see, we can do something like this. Plus okay. Space. Run this. See, the character W is available. Let me give one more value. Say L is available. Say add symbol. It's not available. I'll change this statement because here we didn't mention the character is not available. See, any character specify, it'll just check if it is available, it'll give me available, otherwise it is not available. Okay, right. Now there is one example of calculations. We'll do that. Before that, let's also work on some more examples. Let's take one example. I'm actually trying to get the status of age. Okay. Let's say we have the condition like this. Get age status. Let me put the condition here. The condition is if the age is 71 to 100, then it should be old. If the age is from 41 to 70, then it should be adult. age from 20 to 40. Then we'll say young. The age is 13 to 19, then teenage. If the age is less than 12, then it's a kid. I want to write a program for this condition. So how to do? First, let's take the age. Okay. So I'll go here. I'll say age equals integer, enter age. Okay. I'll put all the conditions here. Now the condition, what we can actually give is say if age is greater than 70 or say greater than or equals to 71. Okay, this is one condition. L if age is greater than or equals to 41. Then we have one more condition. Let me copy this and I'll paste it here. You go to this condition if the age is greater than or equals to 20. Then the next condition will be greater than or equals to 13. And then I'll say these are the conditions. Now, if it is greater than or equals to 71, I'll say print, just say old. Copy this. If it is greater than or equals to 41, then let me mention it as adult. If it is greater than 20, greater than or equals to 20, then I'll say young. Greater than 13, then teenage, else say kid. Okay, right. My program is done. Now what I'll do, I'll execute this. What mistake we did, let's see. Invalid enter age. Okay. Input. What a big mistake we did, right? Let's run this. Enter age. I will type 79. It is old. Let me run this. Say 43. Adult. Run 36. Young. Let me give 16. Teenage. And then if I say 4, I'm getting this kid. Done. So all the values, whatever I'm entering is perfectly coming right. But what if someone enters some number like this? It says old. Same concept what we use for this marks, we should use here as well because we need to validate the data. Same thing. If age is less than 0, then also we should check and sorry, or if age is greater than 100. Okay. Then say print invalid age. This one I'll change this to elif. Okay. Now if I execute this, one more mistake. Let's see what is that. Sorry. Should not come. Okay, no if here. Age will say, see, invalid. What if I enter some negative number? Say, invalid. Likewise, it is not that always we correct the syntax error. It is also that the logical error should be corrected. Now, some people, what they do is they'll not bother about the sequence of the numbers. Let's say I'll take this elif and I'll put it here. Okay. According to the syntax, there is nothing wrong. You see here it says elif age is greater than or equals to 20, then it should be young. It is perfectly right. But the sequence is wrong. Now you just observe, I'll give one number. Say I'll make it as 78. Now if you say 78 and say enter, it says young. The reason is it is taking the value one after the other. When it says 78, it is taking this number. If this is true, then it will print this. Then what should I do if I'm doing like this? What is the other way to correct this? If you want to go with something like this, that is between the range, then you have to change the syntax. How? Let's go here. I'll say if age is greater than or equals to 20. Okay. You have to mention and age is less than or equals to 4. Now, if I execute this and give same number 78C, it will be 4 because this becomes false and it is going here. And if you think for every single line, you have to give, the range like this, you can do that as well. One way is whatever I've done like this. Let me just keep this as is. One way is this one. Other way is, let me copy this. Okay. And here you have to mention like this, say age is greater than or equal to 71 and age is less than or equals to 100. Same thing here, age is greater than or equals to 41 and age is less than or equals to 7. Next, greater than or equals to 13 and age is less than or equals to 19. I think we have missed one condition here. Okay. Next, let me copy this. I think we deleted, right? So we missed it. Here I'll say greater than or equals to 21 and age here we'll say 40. Let me run this. Age, now you give any age here because now it is like a range. See, let me increase the value. It's invalid. Give some negative number like this. So likewise, we can use this conditional statement for getting the proper results based on true or false. Let me take one more example of if conditions. I want to give one code, say region code based on the regions what we enter. Let's say region, okay, equals north. I'll say if region equals double equals, okay, not single equals. If it's a single equals, that means it is assigning the value north. Print say N001. This is the code. L if region equals east. What I'll do, okay, else print east, I'll say E001, then west will say W001. Then here I'll say S001 will say so. Else will say invalid. Okay. See the program. It's very simple. I'll say if I'm entering one region, so I need to get the region code. If it is north, it should be N001. If it is east, E001, west, W001, south, S001. If I'm entering any region other than these four regions, then it should say invalid region. Let me run this. Say N001 because I mentioned north. Instead of this, let's say input and I'll give enter region. Run. Let me give West. Enter. See W00. Run. South. See S00. So likewise, we can actually write the program. Let's go here. I'll say northeast, which is not under any of these four regions. I'll say enter. See, it says invalid region. So likewise, depending on the conditions, I'll be getting the results, right? Okay. I have a program here. It is to get, the discount and the net payable. So what I've done, go here, I'll say amount. Say amount equals, I'm just trying to enter some amount. So I'm saying if the amount is less than 1,000, then I have 5% discount. If it is, otherwise greater than 1,000, then it is 10%. So I'll make this program still more simple for you people. Go here, see, if amount is greater than or equals to 1,000. Let's take it like this. Okay. Discount equals amount multiplied by 0.1. What is 0.1 or 0.10? It is nothing but 10%. Because I cannot say 10% here because percentage is a symbol. So what I'll do, I'll say 0.10 or we can call it as 0.10. So what I've done here is it's like less than first, and then if it is not, then it is taking greater than 1,000. So here I'm just using this greater than or equals to, both are same. Else amount, else discount equals amount multiplied by 0.05. Okay. Now I want to print the discount value. See here, I'm printing this twice. Instead of that, I can print this outside itself. I'll go here, I'll say print discount. If you want, I'll put one text here. How? Say discount colon like this. If I run this, I'll enter some value. See, this is the discount. What if I want to say net payable? Then the formula will be like this. Print net payable. Okay. Amount minus discount. Let me execute this. I'll enter some number. See, this is the discount and this is my net pay. If this value is going something like this with the decimal numbers, we can use this round off command like this. Let me run this and see. This runs. See, same thing you can do for this as well. If you think that, this is actually giving more decimal numbers, you can use round here as well. Comma. If you think you don't want any decimal numbers, you can just remove this decimal numbers here. Run this. See. So likewise, I can use this if condition. So conditional statements are very simple. We just have to make sure that these three syntax, okay, the first three syntax, whatever I have given, that is if condition. This is for condition where I have no true statement. Only if the condition is true, I'll get the statement. The next one is if the condition is true, I'll get the true statement. Else, I'll get the false statement. Then I have this elif, that is if the condition is true, then I'll get the true statement, that is first statement. If this condition is false, then it'll go to the next statement. It'll check the condition. If this is true, then it'll give me this value. Else, it'll give me the false statement. Okay. And keep in mind, I have one if and I can have multiple elif and only one else in this conditional statement block. Okay. All right. So we understood about the conditional statements. I've given so many examples. You can work on this after this session. I'll be sharing this, the notepad with you. All right. Next one is conditional statement. Sorry, I'm very sorry. Loops. Now let's understand what are loops. There are so many programs again. I'll tell you what are loops. Loops means repeating the same statement multiple times. Okay. Repeating the statement multiple times. Here in Python, we have only two type of loops. They are while loop and for loops. So what is while loop? Let me tell you. While loop means while the condition, I'll apply one condition. If this condition is true, then the statement will get executed. Else, it will not, it will come out of the loop. That means if you think, if this condition is true, then the statement will be keep executing. Once this become false, it will come out of the loop. Let's write the program. I'll show you. Now I have this loops. Okay. Let's go here. Say I is equal to 1. While I is less than or equal to 6, or say 5. Sorry. I is less than or equal to 5. Print I. Okay. This will print. After that, I need to increment that, say I plus 1. Or I can say I plus equals 1. This also is fine. Or I can use this I equals I plus 1. Let me run this. See, it will print from beginning, say 1, 2, 3, 4. Once the condition become false, it will come out of the loop. Right. In loops, we have something called as break statement. What is break statement? Now, if you see, I'm printing this 1 to 6, or say 1 to 5, whatever. Let me make it as, I'll copy this. I'll say 1 to 10. Okay. If I run this, it is printing 1 to 10. I want to stop this as soon as it finds 5. It stop there. It should not go further. Then I'll be using this break statement. That means after this print, what I'll do, I'll say if I equals 5, break. That's it. Let me execute this. See, once it is coming to 5, it will stop. I have continue. Continue means it is similar to break, but break, what it will do, it will stop, executing the program after it's find this value. That means it is not repeating. But continue means it will come to that particular value and then it will not execute that statement, but again it will continue after that. Let me show you. Let me copy this, paste it here. Okay. Now what we'll do, we'll just remove this first. Okay. Let me just go here and I'll increment this like this. Okay. Now here what I'll do, I'll try to put this here. If I is equal to 5, then continue. Let me execute. See, once it is coming to this 5, 2, 3, 4, it is saying that if it is 5, then continue. That means it will not print the value, but it will continue again after that. So if you want to do something like that, then we can use this continue statement. Okay. All right. So here I have the code, same code. I'll just copy and paste and then execute and I'll show you the same code what I did here. Just paste it here. I'll just explain. I have this while the count is less than 9. I've used the same thing here. I is less than or equal to 10. The same thing. If I run this, says count I've given the statement here. The count is 0 to 8. Why? Because it is starting with 0. If I give 1, okay, I'll run this. See, 1 to 8. This one will say equals. I'll get even 9. Like this. It is just repeating. That's all. For loop. What a for loop? For loop means, say, for example, I have a list here. In this list, I have element 1, 2, and 3. I want to get, the number of elements here and print that. Say, I will take this. I'll show you. This is the list. We learned about this list yesterday. I'll go here. I'll say the syntax is very simple. For x in fruits. Okay. When I say x in fruits, each and every element will be x now, one by one. I'll say print x. Let me execute this. Invalid syntax. Sorry, this is in. See, one by one. Here also we have this break statement. Suppose if you think, let me just copy this, put it here. What I'll do, let me add some more, okay? Right. As soon as I find this cherry, it should stop. So what I'll do, I'll say print, say if x equals, say cherry, say what this will do, this will break, it will stop once it is found cherry. See, it will not go further. If not, if this statement was not there, if I run this, see, I'll get even these two fruits as well. Let me run this, see. So if you think you want to break somewhere, you have to add this break with if condition, saying that if this x is equal to cherry, then break. Same thing we have for continue as well. Okay, it's the same program. Now, if you think, I want to continue, I can use this continue. Let me copy this and I'll paste here. Continue means it will stop there. It will not print that value and again continue. Let me put this print in the end. Otherwise, what happens? It will print the value and then it will continue. So we'll not find any difference. Run this. Say continue. Run this. See, it is printing this. Once it comes to cherry, it will stop. It will not print. And again, it will continue. So like that. Suppose if you think you want some value which has to be ignored, then you can use this continue. Okay. So break is to break. Continue is to continue. Break means it will stop executing the statement once the condition is true. Continue means it will stop. It will not execute that particular statement, but it will skip that and then it will continue with the next statement. Rest all examples are similar. So I'll be keep just copying and pasting and I'll show you because it'll take a lot of time if you, if I copy, type and I'll show you. But I'll explain each and every code. Okay. And I'll be sharing this notepad with you. You can still copy and paste or type and then you can understand. Okay. Right. Range function. In loops, usually we use this range when we think that we want to generate some serial numbers or something. A range of 6 means it will start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For x in this particular range, like what we have this list, say for example, I have this 1, 2, 3. Like this, if you think you want to generate, instead of giving the list, I can use this range. See, I'll copy this, put it here. You just see, I'll run this. See, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means 6 numbers. Suppose I want the number, okay, to start from 0. I mean, here it start from 0. Here I want to start from 2. See, 2, 3, 4, 5. It will end up to 5 only because the 6th element. Suppose you think I want to skip some numbers. Let's say skip the numbers that is starting from 2 up to 30. But it says 2 plus 3. That is here I have this 3, 2, then 5, then 8. It goes on like that. If I execute the 3, 2, 5, 8, it will go up to 30. Here 29 is the highest number plus 3. It will go to 32. But here the last number is 30. So it will stop there. Let me make it as 32. If I run this, see, 33, and just make it and see. Yeah, see, I'll get that number as. So likewise, we can use this loop statement for printing the range of numbers. Suppose you think that I want to, use else statement. We can use this else statement as well. You can ignore as well. If you see here, I have two programs. One is with else statement. I'll copy this and I'll show you. Same thing what we did here, this one. Run this, see, finally finished. Same thing without else as well we can do. See? So you can use else statement also. Otherwise, you can ignore it. Right. Next, we have something called as nested loop. What a nested loop, I'll tell you. Nested loop means looping inside a loop. For example, let me show you one simple example and then we'll go for the example what I have in the notepad. Let me, yeah, I'll take this. Okay. This example we already done. I run this. See, I'm getting these three elements. This is called as elements. Now, this itself is one more array. What I'll do, I'll say for x in fruits. And again, I'll say for y in x. What is that y in x? You can see x is nothing but this one. Within this array, I'm trying to pull y. That means each element here like this. Say print y. Let me run this. See, these values, it is just trying to print here like this. Right? Now, suppose I want this element also to be printed, then what I'll do, I'll go here, print x. See, it'll print x, which is this one. Within that x, I'm trying to print each element like. So this is called as nested if. So here I have taken one example. I have two arrays, array 1, array 2. I want to combine these two. How? Let's say I'm taking this first one, ADJ, that is colors, red or some adjective or something. I'll go here. Each one is called as X in this ADJ list. And I'm trying to combine that with these fruits. So what happens? First, it'll take this red and it'll combine with all the fruits. Then it'll take this big, all the fruits. Tasty, all the fruits. Let me show you. Go here. I'll put it here. Okay. Now you see, I have this ADJ that is nothing but here. For this list, I'll execute this. See, first red, apple, banana, chip. Then big, apple, banana, chip. Tasty, apple, banana, chip. So likewise, we can use this for, combining or say using this nested loop as well. Okay. Right. Next, I want to print, the letter which is there in Python. So what I'll do, I'll take this one. Okay. Let me take this, see, for letter in Python. Next, I'll say current letter. I'll just try to print each letter and I'm mentioning that as current letter. Let me run this. See, current letter. This is not required. Still, we can do that. Same thing what we did here, that I did here, right? Printing each names. Same way we did that. We added one text here, that is some label here for each text. If I'm not giving this, that means I'll just get only this like this. Okay, right, let me copy this. All right, so again, this one already we have done the same thing what we did to print the value. This is along with the text like. take this for loop and we'll put it here. Okay, this should be indented. If I run this, see. If you want to print this statement, then you can put this after the loop. Like this. Run this, see, the end I'll get this one. Like so already we have done just that. I'm just putting one more label here to get. Okay, right. Now we'll see in an array, we need to find whether this array contains even number or not. Okay, so the logic I'll tell you. First, let me take the number. This is the list. In this, I need to find whether I have even number or not. For each number, so what I'll do for num in numbers, okay, print. If I run this, it'll print each number here, say. What I want to do is, I want to check if this is even or not. How do we check? Say if num modulus 2 is equal to 0. Okay, see. Then I'll say print. I just want to find if even number is there or not. If it is found, then say the list contains even number. That's all. And what should I do? I'll say break. Why? Because once it is found, I should come out of that particular loop. If not, print the list doesn't contain even number. Let me execute and see. See, there is no even number. Let me just go here and then say 54. See, it contains. So you can check whether we have even numbers or not. This one we already done. That is, there are some repeated examples. The one what we saw the previously was, I had used that range of 6. Here, if I run this and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this. The range of 5 or 6, whatever we did, right? Same thing, but here I have in the list. So this also we have done, that is printing the fruit. Let me just show you. We're just printing the right. Okay. Now, if you think I want to print each character, this also we have done. So here I'm just trying to give more examples, the combination of numbers or with the text. Here we are doing with the text like this. So what I've done is you can just copy and paste and then you can execute and see how it actually works. Okay, all these are similar, but this one we'll see. This again, it's like printing the numbers. Let's go to this. This is very interesting. Actually, I'll tell you what it is. I want to print stars. Say 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star. So I'm just trying to print this here, the star multiplied by I. So what happens? Let's say if I execute this, okay, see, first it will be 1. 1 into 1, I'll get 1 star. Up to 6, it is actually 6 in the sense 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, up to 5 it will run and it will come out because the index start from 0. You can increase this, let's say 8. See, stars increase. So here this star, I'm trying to multiply with I. I is nothing but it will be like 1, and again it will be 2, 3, 4, 5. It goes on like this. So then I'll get this stars. So you can add anything here. If you think I want to add, say, add symbol, hash symbol, anything. See, I'll get this. Right. Next one, sum. Suppose if you think I want to sum the values. Here I can say print sum of numbers, and if I run this, what is that? Sorry, let me just remove this. Just 1 minute. This? Let me just check 1 minute. Says okay. I will just restart. The reason is I had given one variable here. The sum should not be given. Let me restart. Okay. Sorry. The reason is here I had given this one variable as sum. So it was taking that as a variable. So it was not taking this function. Okay. So I can do something like this. But if you want to do the same thing by loops, I'm telling, then let's go here. Instead of this sum, I'll say total sum. Okay. Let's not spoil again. Total sum equals 0. That is just assigning 0 here. Now I'll say from each number. Okay. For num in numbers, just will print this and I'll show you if I run this. See, I'm printing this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I don't want to print this. I want to get total sum equals total sum plus num. What does this happen? It is trying to take 1. Now the total sum is 0, 0 plus 1. That means it is 1. The next cycle again it is going and saying total sum will be 1, 1 plus 2. Then again 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 3, 6, 6 plus 4. So it goes on like this. Now I want to print this total sum. And what I'll do, I'll go here, I'll say print total sum. Let me run this. See, this is by loops. What I did previously was by function. Okay. Right. Next, write a program. Here, I'm just trying to find whether they are even numbers or not. Okay. Now let me go here and I'll paste it and I'll say even numbers. I have the list. It is int. Now I will run this. You can see all the even numbers are available. How it is happening? Let me tell you. First, I'm taking one variable even numbers and this is empty list. I have a list here from 1 to 10. So what I'm doing, I'm trying to check all the numbers here from all this. I'm checking if num is num model 2 is equal to 0. That means if this value is 0, then I'll say append. What does append do? Yesterday we learned about this in the function. Append means it will be keep appending the values in the end. So I'm using this list, empty list. First, what it'll do, it'll append the number to this. Then again, it is repeating. Wherever I find this even numbers, it'll append the data. Okay, right. Next, suppose I want to combine two different lists. That is, I have one list 1, list 2, I need to combine. We have a command called as zip. So what the zip will do? Zip will just try to combine two different lists. Let me go here. I'll put it here. Okay. So here I have this two list. I'll say for name age. Okay. This one name age in zip of names and age. Zip will actually combine. Okay. Let me copy this and I'll put it here. Name age in zip. And now if I execute this thing, this is what? This is just a text what I'm actually giving. All right. Next, reversing of a message. Go here. Say, hello world. I want to reverse this. I'll say reversed. When I run this, you just see it will be reversed. If I remove this and if I run this, it will be this way. That is HELLO like this. But I'm trying to reverse this actually. If I go here and if I reverse the characters, it will give me the result in reverse order. That's it. Like this. Okay. All right. Next, counting. Suppose if you think that I want to count how many times a character is repeated. We have the same thing. We have this count where we try to count the values. But if you want to do the same thing with loops, I can do it here. I'm trying to get one word. Here I'm saying count is equal to 0. That is, I'm initiating this. I'm initializing the value 0. For char in word, that is this word, I'm saying wherever I have this I, count. Count equals count plus 1 or count plus equals 1. If I run this, see, I is repeating 3 times. Right? Next, this is to get the multiplication. Say 1 into 1 is equal to. Now I'm just taking one input value. Okay. If I run this, it'll take one number, let's say 7. Okay. I want to use this for multiplication. I'll say for, what am I doing? For j in range of 1 to 11. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. 10 numbers. Here I'm trying to multiply. I'll say, see here, print I. I is what? The input number. Say I've taken 7. 7. This is symbol multiplication. J is nothing but 1 is equal to I plus j, I into j. Say 7 into 1. The next cycle, the next loop, this will become 7 into 2. So likewise, now if I run this, see, I'll give 7 enter. See, I'll get the result like this. That is for multiplication. Same thing here. If I want to print, okay, multiplication of multiple tables. How? Let's say 1 to 6. This is my value. That is what I've taken this I. Likewise, I've taken this. And what I'll do, I'll try to multiply. Okay, this multiplication, what I'm doing here. And here I'm taking only one value. Now I'm taking this more values. But if you want to get the space, I'll use this print. And I'll get one space here. If I print, say, the tables of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can change this if you want. Let's say I'll make it as 4 to 10. I'll run this. See, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. Like next, this is the same thing again. What we did, that star. There are some repeated examples. Go here, run this. See, I'm getting this star. You want, I can change the characters if you want. Again, this is also similar. Okay, this is just to generate some numbers. Say 0, 0, 0, and the combination of numbers here. Okay, all right. Same thing, whatever we have done using for loops, I have this, with the while loops. This already we have done. That is counting the numbers. I think want to see. This is giving me this number. So this also we have already done. Summing of the values just now we did. Same thing here. I'm just trying to do with the while loop. Okay, let me just show this as well. Just trying to add the values. That is from 1 to 10. I'm just adding 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus up to 10. Right? Suppose if you want to reverse a text. Remember just now we had done that reversing. Same thing, I can do this by using this while loop. Here I am having one number. Let's go here, see. Whatever values are there, I'm just trying to reverse. So if you see this, whatever I've done in for loops, I'm just trying to do the same thing in while loop. That's it. Okay, right. Taking user input until a specific condition is met. That is, I'm just taking the value here and then I'm trying to add the values. Previously, what we did here it is like fixed, say 1 to 10 or something. Here, what I'm trying to do, I'm taking the input and I'm trying to check if the sum, okay, whatever value is there here. Let me show you. For example, let me check this. I'm saying the total sum should be 10. If it is exceeding 10, it should come out. So I'm putting this condition while sum is greater than, less than 10, keep working. If it is greater than 10, come out of the loop. But I want this number to be input. So unless and until this is not exceeding 10, it will be keep running. Let me run this. See, enter a number. I'll say 5. I'll say 1. Now it is 6. Sorry, I entered a wrong value. 5, 1. It is 6. Now I'll say 2. Now it is 8. Now I'll say 2. Done. It is coming out. Okay. This is less than. If I say less than or equals to 6, 3, 1. Now, even if I enter 1, see, it's coming out. So likewise, we can use this program. Okay. Printing custom pattern, like what we did that star. Same thing, I'm using this while loop. I'm just executing because we've done the same program already. This is like using while loop. Okay, whatever we have done in for loops, I'm showing how we can do the same thing in while loop. Okay, right. To find the largest number, we can go here. We can put this, say we can use max. If you know, yesterday we had this max, you can use max and you can do same thing. I'm using this while loop. You can do this while working on the loops aspect. Okay, so these are loops. Again, I'm telling you, conditional statements and loops are very important. Condition statement means I'm checking the condition and then I'm getting the result. Loop means I'm repeating the same task multiple times. Okay, right. So this is what I have for today. I know it's more things to learn. I'll be sharing this notepad with you people, both while condition, the conditional statements and the loops. Work on this, try to understand. It is not so complex and not difficult as you think. It is very easy. Okay, right. So I'll stop here now. If you have any questions, please ask me. But before asking the questions, how was the session? I know it was slightly, more topics and confusing, but still, how was the topic? Just 1 minute. I want your feedback quickly. Right. Good. All right. So thank you so much, people. Now, if you have any questions, please ask me. I will answer. But you need to practice, people. I'll be sending you this notes, complete notes. I'll be sending. Practice this. Okay. Right, people. So tomorrow we'll have little more advanced topics. Okay. So tomorrow also we'll have very interesting topics on this Python. People, I'll tell you one thing. Programming means it's like this because it's a dry subject where we keep on telling and you might feel a little complex or confusing because here you're not practicing, you're just understanding what I'm actually typing or I'm actually explaining. But I'll tell you, when I give this notepad to you, go sit and start working. I'll tell you one by one program at a time. Take my video, sit and work on this. I will surely guarantee you that it will be very easy and you can learn aramse. Okay, that one thing I can tell you. Right? Fine, people. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys tomorrow with more interesting advanced topics. Good night. Take care.